This wee video to show how I control my sawdust. Well, most of it is controlled by this dust extraction system. So it was put in just over a year ago. So the actual system's out here. So it's got two bins in it. Them bins pop out and wheel out, and I just wheel them inside, and I can lift the bag out with my winch and have it into my skip. So it's a lot of power out of it, and it works really well. So I've just got a wee kind of on and off switch, so when you switch it off, it does the whole shake and cleans itself down into the bins. So it controls, there's two miter saws down there. I don't have anything touch as a wee steel saw cutting pipe, so you don't want to be cutting hot bits of steel going up into where the sawdust is, so there's nothing on that. But there's a table saw down there as well, and then I've got this miter saw which I mainly use, and a wee table saw there that I mainly use. So see here, it's a brave suction of this here, and it'll suck, you know, it takes up most of it, especially the light dust, it takes it all away. And then there is some bits, like at the end of the day cutting, you get like a steer land about, but most of it is easy sucked away. What I usually use is, I use this wee thing blower, this real handy tool. So use this wee blower and I give the saw a wee bit of a blow down. Don't press it too hard, you blow stuff all over the place, but I use it more like a brush, just to give it a wee thing, just to force it into the pipe. So that controls that, but it's this hood. You see the shape of this hood is round, so the whole back of it goes in and round. So as the thing creates like a cyclone effect, so as it's sucking in, maybe it goes in that way, but it sucks in. As the sawdust comes in, the sawdust will circle around and swoop back in there, so it doesn't make its way out. You get normal wee heavy stuff and then again will come out, but nothing really that bad. You know, it's fairly easy to clean up at the end of the day. So that takes, let's say, well over 90% of the sawdust that you cut with that would be sucked away. So at the end of the day, it's a quick, just a wee blow the rest of it up into that pipe. And as for my table saw, here, see, extraction system just goes into the back. Now this wee table saw came at a terrible dust extraction system, had a wee stupid gourd on top. This one's slightly better but not perfect, but inside is where I had to modify it. So I had to put a false floor in it at a slant, so when the sawdust falls down, falls onto the floor and falls way back into where the vacuum is, so that sucks a hell of a lot of that away, and there's very little, usually just a wee bits of thing that ends on top. And I say, when I'm cutting, I make sure that anything I cut, I don't go any more than 3 mil above. And that thing there, you can actually feel the air sucking in there. So it sucks a brave bit away and doesn't allow too much out. You get wee bits and pieces, like just wee tiny bits of dust and stuff around, but very little. It's about the way you cut as well as the machine itself. So if you're forcing stuff through it, you're going to get a lot more sawdust. So you just take your time, cut the things nice and smoothly, keep the fence down, and that takes the most away. At the end of the day, I just pull out the stuff from round out into the floor, so I keep the back of the machine easy cleaned. What I have is, like my small tools, like this plunge saw, I use it here on this bench. This hooked up to a vacuum. As soon as I switch that on, the vacuum comes on and it'll go off as soon as you switch. It goes off, so that sucks up, and that takes because it's that type of saw with that takes nearly all of it away. The biggest problem one is probably I have a scale saw I have for cutting these strings out. I cut them out in this bench, so I have a scale saw in there I use, and it can kick up a lot of dust. So the same thing, whoever comes on by itself, whenever you pull the trigger, sucks it in, but it'll only take about 50%, 60, maybe 60% of the dust away. So the thing is, a bit of discipline. So as soon as I have made a set of strings and I set them down there, I go, I have a brush here. So I have this brush, and I will go along As soon as finished, brush to the end and into the bin at the end. So it means my dust isn't going everywhere, not transferring the dust everywhere. And plus I'll give the floor a brush down. I'll throw it in the bin as well. So once I have done the job and I've cut that out, the dust is in this area. I clean that area so I'm not transferring the dust everywhere else. So that's, you need to kind of discipline yourself to go, no, I'm not just going to continue on. I'm going to stop. I'm going to clear this so I don't make it worse for myself. So let's go down here. See, this saw here, it's a heavier saw, but it came with thing inside already slopes down. It's kind of enclosed and it slopes down to the thing, so very good suction in it. So you can still hear it there, and you can actually feel it there too. So it's good as long as the boys say remember to keep the yard down to just above the plywood, because I'll go through maybe I'll be on half a plywood every week, and like there's not that much sawdust. There's still a wee bit slam around the back of the saw there where it's been blew out, but it's not too bad. And same with same thing, things are the same shape here, goes up and round and sucks the air in, and it keeps it right and clean. And then all I do is come round, put my brush in and pull out onto the floor. So because you're not really supposed to brush the floor because it creates dust and stuff, I then use a wee sweeper. So I have my wee sweeper in here, so I'm able to go with that there, and then I just walk around it out, and so all the stuff that's out on the floor, I go along and just brush it up. And that's basically how I keep control of it. So I clean this place myself each night, so it takes me about say 20 minutes, and then I would pick a machine and I'd spend an extra 5 minutes to that machine cleaning around that machine to make sure all the dust, like if I'm at that one there, I would take the blade off the guard out and I would poke any sawdust that's in the inside and force it down into the pipe and then close it all up again. And it's just things like that there. So we just spend an extra bit of time each night to just pick one machine or one place. Like it's not perfect. If you go in behind with timber, still probably dust and stuff all landing behind, but it's to an acceptable level for me anyway. So that's basically it, folks. That's how I keep my sawdust from going all over the place. I say a bit of do your 3S every day, keep control. It's about keeping control, keeping management. So thank you.